Okay, everybody, we're back. We're back. We're going to start the conversation just now. I'm going to now try and get Mike here. Okay, I apologize for the cuts, the two cuts earlier, but I'm going to try and get Mike on this. This is bad, man. This is all sorts of bad. This is unreasonable bad. I think this is definitely. I think this is going to shut down easily 100 businesses top line, but I might be wrong. Easily 100 businesses are going to get taken. Mike, how's it?
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Shit, I'm doing shit.
Hey, sorry, I know it's a public, I'm having a tequila just, to calm the nerves a little.
How did you get alcohol?
Listen, but I saw this thing coming a while ago. I bought about 5 cases of Don Julio. It's the one thing I can't run out of in my life.
Unbelievable, man. Mike, this is bad. You know me. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. This is bad. There's no glass half full. There's no glass.
Vusi, I think you're right, and I think you're right. It's an ugly situation to be in, but the thing about this is, and this is the thing that we got to realize. A lot of us have been holding out for the end of this 3-week period. Okay.
Yeah.
So we just want to get through these 3 weeks, going to make it. Now, I've got a different point of view, and it's a scary one. Okay. And that I don't think coronavirus is going anywhere. The nature of what it is, what they call the respiratory viruses, is coronavirus. I did a lot of reading about these things. Okay. Now, what makes this one different is that it literally is got to be one of the most infectious things we've ever seen. It spreads like wildfire. So at the end of 3 weeks or the end of 6 weeks, whatever, it's not going away. Okay, we're thinking like, okay, we had coronavirus for 6 weeks. Okay. And if it's going to stay with us, that means that the world that we had, we've got a new normal. We have to adapt and change completely because we're assuming we're all going to go back to La La Land and hang out on Friday nights with our mates and all those sort of things. I don't think that happens.
Mike.
We're 12 to 18 months away from any form of cure.
You realize what this means, right? Let me tell you what this means. I think, I don't know. Fuck.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. You need to keep the job. I'm going to send some.
I think there's 100,000 businesses that are going to tank just off the back of this decision to extend by another 2 weeks. Easily 100,000. I've been on the phone back to back with some of the companies I'm invested in, and here's my problem, Mike. Here's my problem. South Africa was already in shit. And I'm sorry for my listeners who are listening to this thinking my language is really strong, but this is it's raw emotion right now. We were already in shit. We came from a 24-month period of an economy doing nothing. In the fourth quarter of last year, sorry, let me just finish this. In the third or fourth quarter of last year, we lost 230,000 jobs. Now, at the beginning of this year, they said we're in recession. This is, come on. I'm not, I want, just so we're clear, I'm not saying that a thriving economy is worth somebody's life. I would never say that. But I think if you don't feel the frustration for what real entrepreneurs are going to be facing right now, then you're smoking something, because this thing is going to destroy people.
Yeah. And I think the problem is, and what you've also got to realize and think about it to this extent, though, let me pose this one to you. Did this corona kill us, or did it just accelerate what was already happening? Did it put a fast forward button on what was a slow bleed?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's forget about who gives a fuck how we got here. Okay. The question is, what do we do going forward? Now, if we're going to go forward, we can either sit our hands in the air and say, listen, we're going to sit down, hold on tight, okay, and hope that it goes away. But if you look what's happening around the world, it's not. And the people who are starting to look and realize, you're saying, well, listen, what is my new normal? My new normal means that I need to start looking at the internet, or I need to start looking at ways to adapt my business and the way that I earn to what is going to be a new normal, to what is going to be a country that is severely constrained by lack of capital, to what is going to be a place where interviewing and interfacing with people is going to become more difficult. So everything that works around that sort of thing, you've got to start to say, how do I adapt? Because putting your head in the sand and saying, shit, I hope it goes away and everything comes back, I think is going to be one of the most dangerous things we can do.
I hear you. I hear you. So first, let me ask you, Mike, because you do wealth management. This is your game.
Yeah.
Right? There's two things there. The first is you do wealth management for people who have wealth to be managed. The reality is that a big portion of our country are people who don't even have a basic income. This for me is again, there is nothing that can be said about loss of life. So just so we're clear, I'm not saying that a thriving economy is worth but as anything but a single life. But I really need to understand what happens to people who've lost basic incomes. I don't see it, man. I don't see it.
Because the thing is, we have, a country which is running at, here's an interesting statistic, in the United States, in the Great Depression, what was probably the worst time of economy that they ever had, they ran at 25% unemployment. If we had fucking 25% unemployment, we would be celebrating in the streets.
Jeez.
Our people have been running around with 40% of our people not being employed, not having jobs, not having the ability to earn income. And this is what people are scared about. So all this sort of shit that we get to, I don't have an answer to say, shit, it's going to be good. It's going to be, what I do say is we got to wake up really quickly and say, listen, it's not just going to fix itself. We need to change ourselves. We need to change what we do. We need to change the way we get up. And it starts with the smallest things. I see people, and it's been interesting watching people around me, how they interact with this thing. You got people who don't get up. They walk around in their pajamas all day long. They're not, even if you're taking the time to learn, even if you're taking time to study, even if you take this time to better yourself in one way, shape, or form, but you have to find a way to go forward. Because, what is that expression? How do you eat an elephant? One small bite at a time. You've got to start taking some small bites, and you've got to start doing it today. Now, is it going to work? I don't know. Is it the solution? I don't know, but it's a shitload better than sitting back and doing nothing. But you can't just sit in your house right now and wait and say, shit, I hope it's going to come right. Because that you're guaranteed to fail. I fundamentally believe that the world has changed. It will never be the same again, especially for a country like South Africa. We will never be the same again. Okay, those days are gone. And the sooner we accept that and start to adapt ourselves, because one of the things about us, we're one of the most resilient nations in the world. Okay, you want a bunch of people that you could throw shit at, we could take and keep on coming. That's us. So now it's time to live up to it. Now's the time to show what you've got as resilient people, and you've got to build. You've got to find ways forward. I don't give a fuck what it is. We got a lady who came around the house the other day selling us masks, these material masks, and she sold them all up and down the street. She's doing something. She's hustling. I got a baker who's selling me hot cross buns who keep knocking on my door. So I'm going to get so fat by the time he's done. He's feeding 12 a day. But they're hustling.
All right. On a serious tip, you have to introduce me to the hot cross buns guy. You know me and my sweet tooth. So what do you think? I mean, what does the back of this whole thing look like, particularly for people running small businesses? Because I have to tell you, and maybe just for context, some of the businesses where I've been invested, we've been having going concern conversations. And I've had some of those entrepreneurs going, at what point are we trading recklessly? Because you're a small business, right? So you're funded, but your runway had presumptions and assumptions based on it. Now you're getting the cost effect without the income effect. So your costs are still there, particularly some of those fixed costs, but your incomes are completely eroded. And we were having, just yesterday, Mike, we were having going concern conversations. At what point do we call it? I'm really finding it difficult to think about what's that business owner going to be doing now? And what people miss is it's not just the entrepreneur you got to worry about. If Vusi's business goes under, God forbid, my business goes under, I'll be fine. Because I'm educated, I'm connected, I'll get it, I'll be okay. It's the people I employ you really got to be worried about. What's at the back of this? Because right now I don't see what comes out on the other side of this positive.
So there's two questions there. The first thing is, when do you call it? And when you call it's an interesting one. You know, I have businesses that I'm invested in, I've been having the same discussions with. The first thing that I've said to those guys is I said, whatever you can cut, cuts. Okay, so we went on 50% salary straight away. We decided we wanted to keep paying people, but we couldn't keep paying them a lot of those companies 100%.
Yeah.
So we cut to 50 in consultation.
Yeah.
We cut rents. Anymore. We cut the absolute bare minimum. The question we then asked in those businesses, two of them have closed. We already said we're done, because the second we then asked, are we prolonging an inevitable?
Wait. Did you say two have closed?
No, we took two already.
Mike, this is a conversation you and I need to have at a different time. Your ability to just cut stuff is, I marvel at it.
No, but hang on. This is the best thing I could do, because at the time when you're cutting these things, I'm able to pay people their salaries plus a decent redundancy with the cash that was in the bank. I could do what I was supposed to do. I could get.
Yeah, you make a decent point. That's a good point.
Okay, so I'm not going to bleed the thing dry and then everybody's fucked. I'm saying, listen, these ones are not going to recover in time. I can see they're not. So I'm going to make a responsible decision. I'm going to go to the guys, listen, I'm not paying you any more rent. The business is gone. I'm going to pay my salaries first. What Eggers have done. Exactly what Eggers have done. They said, listen, we're going to pay our staff. Everybody else got to help. Now, you've got to start making those hard decisions. And if your business is not going to be sustainable, then you do have to close it. You're actually responsible to close it, because if you prolong it, you're prolonging the payment suffering a lot of people. Get your staff paid, get their redundancy paid, get them on an even footing, and get out and get yourself out before you get bled dry. I know guys in 2008 who are still paying off the debt that they incurred in 2008 trying to stay alive. They borrowed so much money in 2008 trying to float themselves through a recession that should have folded them, that they're still paying off their debt, and now this has come back. And they're saying, hang on a second, we haven't paid off the last debt, now we're going to have to take out more. So you've got to make those hard decisions. And that's the thing about being a business owner. It's all well and good when we're doing well and we're eating good dinners, we're buying nice cars and wearing nice clothes, but you're in charge to make the shit decisions. And the buck stops with you. And it's actually your responsibility to, when the time hits and it all goes completely tits up, to say, actually, hang on, you know what, guys, let me do what is right and let fuck everybody over. Or I've got to find a solution. And this was the second part. So the first thing is what I said to you is the answer in the first part is, if your business is not going to make it past 3 months without external influence, you should be seriously considering, listen, do I fold it?
If it's not going to make it 3 months.
3 months. You've got 3 months, I reckon, at least. Because the economy doesn't just kickstart off. But Vusi, hear me out. Let's say we finish on 30th April, okay? So we've been 6 weeks in, yeah? Do you think we all go back to normal? 4th of May, we're all up and running again? Do you think the engine...
I was hoping so.
Well, how does that happen? Have you seen things try to get moving? I mean, in normal countries, this is Africa, but it takes a while.
Shit.
Think about it logically. To get the engines going, the first week, people are just getting into the offices, they're sweeping out the cobwebs. And they spend the first week in the offices just talking about, what did you do in lockdown? The second week, maybe they start talking about your business, your speaker. What are your business, your main business, what are your things speaking? People aren't even going to start talking about conferences in July. It's terrible, but it's the fact. However, how many people are doing virtual? You know, my fiance is in the same business as you. She's got 2 virtual MC gigs.
Yeah, I've got a few lined up, yeah.
So that's what you want to be doing. She said, shit, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to go virtual. She's doing virtual training. So I'm not saying but I'm saying each of these people, there's ways and means around the shit we've got. You've got to start adapting and say, what I used to do may not, it's actually a high possibility it won't work. A high possibility.
But
because
that's
the nature. This coronavirus, the second we stop, let's say we release it off, what is it spread by? People-to-people contact. It's not going to have gone by the 30th of April. And God help us if it gets into our HIV and TB population. That's what I'm scared about for this country. These are guys with weakened immune systems. They can't let that happen. So if you look at those as facts and we accept that the loss of human life is the one thing we actually cannot accept, now all your decisions start looking different. Now your forward planning realizes there's a good chance this thing will go on a lot longer. We can throw our hands in the air.
Mike, this thing is going to just, people are just, I see massive, I genuinely do, and I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but I think there's going to be massive foreclosures, not only of businesses, but also of estates and of people's assets and properties. I can only, could you imagine if you run a luxury car dealership, you're finished.
Yeah, you're done.
If you run a luxury car dealership right now, you're finished.
Yeah, but can you imagine if you took your money for your luxury car dealership and you got all the guys who were going to buy cars from you, told them to keep them at home, you created a virtual car showroom where they took the cameras and you did a virtual showroom of it with 360 photos all around where people could walk around these cars and you could buy them online. There's a way around all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard, but it's easy. But Vusi, I wish I could say, hey, but it's all okay. You know, here's a fizzer, okay? Because that's what my mom used to give me when I was sad as a kid. She'd give me a fizzer. Here's a fizzer. It'll all be okay in the morning. It might not, but that's okay because if we recognize that, we know what we find. You know, the scariest thing in the world is the unknown. Okay, the fear of an event, here's a saying for you. Keep this one. I know you like good sayings. The fear of an event is always worse than the event itself.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So the fear we've got right now about, okay, so now we know we fought. Okay, awesome. So now we know, guys, everybody online, this is what rock bottom feels like. Okay, you've been scared of it all your life. This is what it is. We're here. Okay? And we're still breathing. We're still chatting. We're still thinking. We're still trying to share ideas. This is rock bottom. Okay? This is bad it gets. All the economies are closed. We could all lose our jobs. We could all be fucked tomorrow. Fine. Now we start. But we now know what the base level is. Now we know what the bottom of the level is. Now we start again. Because you start again.
Yeah. You know, I was having a thought earlier, right? You know, and I think Yolanda just made the point on the comments, and she's 100% right. If your business is working capital, hungry with high fixed costs, you're in trouble. You and I know. You and I had the conversation around mid-year last year. Again, at the beginning of this year, and I was telling you the issue I had with my business. My fixed costs were too high. We were living in the world of our ego, not the world of our reality. And you spoke some very painful truths that I needed to hear, right? But I think for the ordinary South African citizen, there is a more difficult truth. And I know this is going to be very unpalatable for people, but I'm going to say it anyway. South Africa was moving the direction of becoming a nanny state. We will provide you with everything. You don't have an income, we'll provide you with an income. You have a child, you can't get a job, we'll provide you with an income for that child and that job. And I think what many South Africans forget is that that's actually not necessarily the way of the world. There are many countries in the world where if you can't make it on your own, you can't make it on your own. Yeah. And I think there are a lot of people who have been living under the protection of the state who are about to realize that that protection of the state is actually not guaranteed. I just, because here's the cascade effect people don't see. You and I having this conversation, I said to you, I think at least 100,000 businesses, small, medium businesses that are out because of this, just finished. If each of those 100,000 businesses employ 100 people, do the multiply of how many people are losing jobs. If each of those people are not getting an income, it means they're not paying their taxes. If they're not paying their taxes, it means the fiscus in the state doesn't have money to go into the education programs, health programs, income grants, etc., etc. This is all the way bad.
No. So here's the good part. No. See, here's the good part. Okay, and this is something I believe, and this is not a political point of view, but it's an economic point of view. We are overdue as a country for a massive restructure. Okay? Am I right?
I don't know. Let me hear it.
So we do know that, let's say we've had some spending issues. Okay? Well, let's say a lot of money being spent potentially in some wrong areas. Yes. Sometimes lining a lot of people's back pockets.
It's called misaligned priorities.
Okay. So one of the things that I think is going to happen, and this is probably an unpopular, I think we're going to go IMF. I think we're going to go cap in hand. We're going to need a loan. We're going to need a big one. Okay? So when we go to the IMF, we need a loan. And we're going to need it because the bailouts that we're giving now, the UIF fund is probably empty already. But when they go, the boys come in and they say, listen, we will give you that money, but you've got to clean your shop. So if you want a painful process, we're going to go through some pain. But Vusi, I actually think we're going to come out of this like rock stars. And you like that word. This is the opportunity for us as a country to completely realign, restabilize, reset the entire button. Okay? We can get rid of all of the shit. all of our legacies, everything. It started being as a new country. We pulled together like never before. We forgot about racial divides all of a sudden. We're all sitting in a position where we're saying, look, we're all in this together. Let's get through it together. In order to do that, okay, we've got to get rid of all the shit. And this is going to put us in a position where we get rid of all of it. We get rid of our businesses that probably weren't future-proof, that were limping along with state help. Those are gone. Now you're going to build something that's good. We get rid of the fat state, the fat cat scenario, people taking money that could have been put into the poor's pockets. That's gone. The IMF will clean that up very quickly. So that's good. All these things are hard, but the net result, if we look forward, you want something normal, okay? You want to go look forward. That's what we look forward to. This could restructure everything. It's the reset button we need. We've been speaking forever about what they call about the lost years, and I believe that they were lost years. I mean, this country got raped for many years. Maybe unpopular, but that's what I believe. Now, I think that that money that got lost is not going to be recovered because of all the infighting that happens. The IMF or something that resets it. So I think this can be a deal.
Wow.
I think this can be a favor.
So
It's a brutal reality, but what happens? So what happens here? Let's think about it. So what's going to happen is we're going to get one thing a government's tried to do, which I think is great. The guys have really pumped in and said, right, look, what we're going to do is we're going to try and help. Okay, so they've put in this UIF fund, which is great. They've got these unemployment things that are going. There's a lot of good stuff that they're trying to do specifically to support disadvantaged people, which I think is fantastic because there are a lot of people in this country who've been fucked for too long. Okay, so I think that they've really gone for that. Unfortunately, it's going to cost. It's going to cost money. Now, that money is going to come from places we don't have. It's going to come from tax. We don't have enough tax now. People aren't going to have enough revenue. We're going to have a problem. Businesses are going to fail. Those businesses are going to fail. Those people aren't going to roll over and die. We're South Africans. They will find something else. They're going to hustle. They're going to hustle. And it's going to be hard for a period, but they're going to hustle. But the long-term rebuild of this thing, the long-term rebuild of a country that completely resets, I think it's phenomenal. I think it's the best opportunity we've ever had. And I think we've used it for a long time. How's that?
I'm still pissed.
You know what? You know why? Do you know why? That's why we're pissed. Okay? I'm 47. I'm a geriatric. Okay? I've been hustling all my life. And I thought my hustling days were over. Now, I got to go again.
Fuck. That's exactly where my mind is.
Yeah. You know what?
Last year, we took
yeah, but
one of my portfolio companies last year, I think I told you this, I did a 50% write down of the asset because I realized that this thing was never going to make the money that I was promised it was going to make. So I just 50% write down of the asset, right? And then this year it was kind of teetering and coming back. Now this is going to wipe it out. This is just going to wipe it out. Net business has 2,000 people. In my mind, I'm just going, this is not... There is nowhere in my mind where this picture looks good. You know, maybe the challenge I've got is that I was too invested in the way my life was architectured, and I need to start rethinking how my life is going to look going forward, right?
It's gone. Your life as it was is over. Mazel tov.
I like my life as it was, Mike. I like it.
We got complacent. We got lazy. We got boring. It's a great time for a new challenge.
Shit.
It was too easy. You said it earlier on. You were saying to me now, you said there was too much. It was too easy. Nanny state, all those things. There we go. Well, not anymore. Now we've got to find a way. And you know all those people. I have faith. I have honest faith. I have honest faith in everybody who's watching you, everything. I really do have faith that they'll find a way. I honestly do. Because I've seen people do it over and over and over again. One thing we aren't is quitters, okay? Is it going to be tough? Fuck yeah, it really is. It's going to be a fucking horrible time. But, you know, what are you going to do? Roll over and die? Fuck that. Fuck, I'm going to come out of this bigger, stronger, and better than I ever was. And I'm pretty bad.
All right, brother. Any last words to the 800 people who are in the conversation?
Guys, it's a tough time, okay? But we're in it together. Reach out, pull together with each other. Remember right now, just in this little chat, there's 800 people who are sitting here thinking the same way, worried about the same thing.
Exactly.
The fact that they're on this channel means that they're people who are looking, they're thinkers, they're people looking for ideas, they're people who want to be entrepreneurs, they want to do businesses. There's 5 new businesses on this channel right now in the people that we're all talking to each other. reach out to each other as a community, pull together, because that's how we get through. Me and Vusi end up chatting shit. We'll come up tomorrow. We'll have a new business. That's what you've got to be doing. This thing tells us all to get back together. Okay,
Yeah.
doing it on your, pull together with each other, use each other's skills, use each other's networks.
I got to tell you, Mike, I've been looking at some of the fixed costs in my own business. The past 14 days, I've not been able to justify why I'm paying the kind of fixed costs that I'm paying. Yeah. And I don't know, man. Sorry about that. I lost you. I somehow feel like it's time to get back on the rodeo. But Mike, I worked my way out of it. So going back into it is it's definitely something I'm looking forward to. But just, you know, coincidentally, I was saying this to somebody. I said to them, this market we're in is a cash economy. If you have cash, hang on to your cash. Don't spend it. And I think this is important, particularly for the people who after this might get retrenched, might get retrenchment packages. Hang on to your money, because the market we're going into is going to be definitely a cash economy market. I mean, I have you know, my love for supercars, and I have a friend of mine who works at a supercar dealership. And he was telling me that he's got units that he's selling at a 35% discount, literally of what they were selling for 3-4 weeks ago. He's selling them at 30 to 35% discount, below cost sometimes, just to move the stock, because he needs to cover the floor plan. You know, and I think that's going to be the new normal for a while. I think there are a lot of wealthy individuals who are sitting on, who are overcapitalized on certain assets, who are going to flood the market with those assets. I'm talking second, third, or fourth homes, expensive supercars, expensive watches, expensive habits. They're going to flood the market with that stuff because they're trying to get as much cash as possible to either sit on that cash as a form of an investment or as a form of protection, or more likely, because of the junk status issue, to externalize that capital and go offshore. So if you can sit on your money now, I think this is going to be the time.
But here's a question. I see some of the guys online are saying, listen, a lot of them are saying we haven't got cash. So what is the one thing that somebody with money looks for? They look for horses to back. Yeah. Okay. I have investors. I have clients right now who are literally looking for horses to back. They're saying, look, make no mistake, they're going to take their pound of flesh out of you. They're going to take a lot out of you for it. Okay. They smile while they're doing it. Guys like Vusi. There's a way. There's a way. There are guys here with money. You've got a business idea that's going to work in this new economy that we're entering into. There's somebody with money to fund it. Make no mistake. Make no mistake. Okay? The government, I would imagine, especially once the shit clears, the next phase they're going to look at, if they're smart, and they seem to be pretty damn smart how they've handled this so far, they're going to look at small business development loans, helping people get back on their feet. But you're going to need something solid. You need a good business plan. You know, Vusi, you do your weekend seminars with the guys. We teach them about business plans and all this, how to build their businesses. All that. You're going to need a good concept. So be ready. You know, work with this idea of this. Forget, and this is my friend, new normal. Okay, this is the new world. So work with it. Don't fight it all the way. You know, accept this is the way it is and find a way to make it work for yourself. Fuck it, we've been through worse than this. 2008 makes this look like a cakewalk. In 2000, let me give you an understanding. In 2008, I stepped down. I was living in London at the time. One of my friends was one of the #1 advisors for investment banks around the world. This guy just talks to banks about what he thinks about. And he sat down to me and explained to me one Monday night in the middle of the financial crisis how this was the absolute perfect storm, and explained to me just how this was now going to take us back to an agricultural economy. He said to me, Mike, you're lucky you're a big, strong guy because you're going to be working with your hands for the rest of your life. Now, that was what we faced then. We're nowhere close to that. And we came very close, by the way, very close to that. So this is nothing. The 1929 depression, in terms of what it did to people, this is nothing. Okay? But what you do have to realize is that...
You know what I think my difficulty is? I'll tell you what I think my difficulty is, Mike. And I, as a reflection, I do think that our generation is soft. You know, I do think our generation is soft. We're the generation. You get offended if somebody says something nasty to you on Twitter, or if somebody leaves a bad comment on your Instagram. Yeah. And sometimes you got to remember that your grandparents were put in jail for what they believed. It wasn't a nasty comment. It was literally being physically incarcerated. So
my grandfather had to find a wall. I just got asked to stay at home, watch TV. Okay.
Yeah. I think,
you know, the reason we're soft, we've literally come through. Okay, this is the end of the largest bull market run in history. We've had 12 years of milk and honey. It's been so good, we forgot what it's like to be bad. We forgot what it's like to be hard. We forgot what it's like to get punched in the face. What Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
That's right.
Okay, so you just got punched in the face. Now what are you going to do? You're going to fall over? You're going to quit? No. Now you're going to get up and punch back. And you know what? You may get knocked over again, but that's what makes us, I keep saying, it's what makes South Africans so great. We don't quit. We keep fighting. And that's the part we can't lose. So I say it again. Don't quit. Reach out to one another. Start talking to the people in your communities. Get onto the online chat sites. The online communities are buzzing. Okay? There are guys out there pumping so many ideas through. Left, right, and center. You're gonna find somebody. But you got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to get out. You got to get out there and start hustling and start building. Because this can be new normal. New normal.
I gotta tell you, I'm having to learn to think enough. For context, to the guys who are following this, Mike, you and I met at at your aunt's place. Was it December? Yeah. It felt like it was December.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Was it December or Jan? I can't remember. It was one of the two.
Yeah.
we met there because I was there having a look at some of the stock that he had, some of the supercars that he had. And I was talking to him about what I wanted him to do to my supercars. And then you and I had a breakfast meeting. I had forgotten we had a breakfast meeting. You called me up and you said, dude, where are you? I'm at the bar, right? And we needed to have our breakfast meeting. You drove out to come and see me at the Archive, which is a great place. Mm-hmm. And we were having this conversation, and I said something to you, and I felt like I was whinging. Because with you, especially in our one-on-one conversations, I have the privilege that I can whinge and whine. And I felt like I was whinging a bit, and I was complaining a bit about the world, and oh, woe is me, and people don't love me, and oh my God, life is tough, and I'm taking these write-downs in our investment company. And you said something to me, which by the way is still stuck, and I'm using it every single day. You said, Vusi, you have the right to say no.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about? He was like, dude, if somebody asks you for something, you have the right to say no. And you have the right not to need to explain yourself. And I think that's the thing about this soft generation we become. We feel the need to explain ourselves and to be nice and to be liked and to be loved by everybody. Actually, I think we're going into a period now where you're going to have to look after number one. You're going to have to prioritize the stuff that's important. And you're going to have to get into your mind that you don't have to be liked. You just have to be effective. You have to get the stuff done that needs to get done.
But that's exactly it. You know, you can laugh. Some of my clients will say, John, they don't particularly like me. I'm not exactly a fun person to be around. But I'm good at what I do. Okay, and I'm not going to take you and play golf and hang out with you and I don't do that. Okay, what I do is I do phenomenally well at what I do. So when somebody calls me and says you need something, okay, I hit it. But I also, if I can't do it, no. I don't feel like it, no. And that's not selfish. Okay, here's a new word for you guys as well: self-care. Self-care.
Love that.
Right to take care of yourself. Okay, you got the right to say, hey, today's not my day. Today's not my day. Today I need a month. Don't lie to yourself. Don't take a day like that every day. Okay, but today's not my day. Now, if you start doing stuff like that, you start being true to yourself and what you can and can't do. You start regretting it. There's a theory. I think, Vusi, you and I spoke about this as well. There's the 80-20 theory. Okay, 80% of the work is done 20% of the time. That means for everybody out there, we work 5 days a week, which means 1 day of the week, let's say, for example, we work really hard. Okay? And in that week, we get everything done. 80% of the work done 20% of the time. The rest of the week, we fuck around. Let's say, for example, you're able to optimize and make sure that just for 1 day, okay, you killed it. You put in 8 hours of the best work you've ever seen. Let's say you did it again the next day. You're now on 160% of what you normally produce. That's the kind of effort this is going to need. That's the kind of focus this is going to need. That's the kind of determination this is going to need. You don't do that, then give up. Seriously, that's what it's going to take. It's going to be that brutal. But what a cool challenge. And I absolutely guarantee you, if you do that for 3 months, you kill it for 3 months. No coffee breaks, no Facebook, no Scrabble, whatever the hell it is. None of that shit. You kill it. You'll come through the smiling. The opportunities are there. People have still got to eat, interact, interface, do all these different things. Nothing changed. how we deliver it has changed. So the way we sell it has to change.
I got you, brother. Thanks for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Good luck
to everybody joining us in this conversation, I called you after this. You and I were having a 2-minute conversation. I was like, we should probably take this live because I felt like the stuff you were sharing with me was stuff my followers needed to hear. So thanks for your time, Mike. I appreciate it, boy.
Good stuff, buddy. You guys take care.
Cheers, bud.